Welcome everybody to Half History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and this episode revolves around the Battle of Chickamauga, and more specifically, General James Longstreet's right flank during the engagement. To set up this battle, Confederate General Robert E. Lee sent Longstreet and his corps to the Western Theater to help the Army of Tennessee under Braxton Bragg. On September 20th, Longstreet placed his three divisions one behind the other. Bushrod Johnson's brigades first, Hood's brigades behind them, and McLaw's brigades behind Hood. During the battle, a miscommunication on the part of the Union Army saw an entire division leave their position right across the battlefield from Longstreet's corps. The veteran of Gettysburg moved his troops forward at that moment across the Lafayette Road and through the Brotherton Farm, ripping through the hole left by the Union. This brings me to what I want to discuss. As Johnson's brigade swept away the little resistance that remained where the Federal division had been, Johnson paid no mind to the blue troops on his right flank, and he kept pushing further to the west. Brigadier General Henry L. Benning, an ardent secessionist from Georgia and veteran of some of the bloodiest battles in the Eastern Theater, saw that Longstreet's whole corps could be in jeopardy because of its exposed right flank. Immediately, he made his brigade face north toward Colonel John T. Croxton's brigade, a Brigadier General John M. Brannan's division. Benning arrayed his brigade from left to right as follows: the 2nd, 17th, 20th, and 15th Georgia. Croxton had watched the chaos unfold as Union troops moved off his right flank and saw Bushrod Johnson's troops pass by his flank. But when Benning turned toward his Hoosiers and Kentuckians, he sent the 4th and 10th Kentucky Infantry regiments to guard his right flank. Benning advanced his Georgians towards the enemy. A destructive fire brought down the horse he was mounted on, and the brigadier was forced to lead his men on foot towards Croxton's men. The Georgians got within 10 yards of the Kentuckians, both sides delivering destructive volleys into one another. Amid the flurry of lead, Croxton was hit in the leg, placing Colonel William Hayes of the 10th Kentucky in command of the brigade. The firefight forced the Georgians to back off, giving Hayes time to think about his current situation. In the distance, he could see more Confederates forming to his right, and thus ordered the brigade to fall back. But only the Kentuckians heard the order, leaving the Hoosiers alone. Colonel Marsh B. Taylor of the 10th Indiana took over command, since the colonel of the 74th Indiana broke his arm after his horse was shot out from under him. He moved the last two brigades to face Benning. The Georgians made another advance toward the Hoosiers, but Taylor ordered his men to fix bayonets and charge. This put Benning's men in full retreat as his men ran to the rear. Benning was able to grab a stray artillery horse and came upon Longstreet and his staff. He informed his commander that "I am ruined. My brigade was suddenly attacked and every man killed. Not one is to be found. Please give me orders where I can do some fighting." Longstreet calmed down his subordinate and said, "Nonsense, General. You are not so badly hurt. Look about you. I know you will find at least one man, and with him on his feet, report your brigade to me, and you too shall have a place in the fighting line." Robertson's Texans found some enemy in the form of Colonel Charles Harker's brigade, who were attempting to slow down the Confederate invasion. As the Texans advanced, the 5th Texas saw Benning's retreat and thought the whole division was pulling back, so they started to fall back themselves, which exposed the 4th Texas flank to the fire from Taylor's men from Indiana. The Union line would ultimately fall back, some to Snodgrass Hill, and eventually retreat across the mountains. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I hope you learned about an aspect of the Battle of Chickamauga that you previously did not know about. While researching this battle, I came across this moment and instantly wanted to talk about it on the channel. These accounts help us better understand what Civil War combat looked like and the struggles commanders had trying to control large groups of men across great distances. Take care, and I'll see you next week.